You ever notice that? When big change happens, old habits, old ways of doing things start to expire. So we're here to talk about adaptability, and everything has come full circle. I work as a business strategist for Tony Robbins, who has become my hero. I've worked with Jack Canfield, the guy who wrote all those Chicken Soup for the Soul books, Brian Tracy, legend in personal development. And what I've learned about adaptability, people who are very adaptable, is that they're very good at building new habits. Because when change happens, old habits start to expire. You ever notice that? When big change happens, old habits, old ways of doing things start to expire, and it's up to us to start to build new habits, new behaviors in order to support where the world is going instead of where it's been. And so there's a three-part model I want to share with you out of the book called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhig, and he says every habit has this three-part model. So any habit that you have has a cue or a trigger, and that cue or trigger then triggers a behavior or the pattern or the routine, and then that routine has some sort of internal or external reward which reinforces the habit and the entire pattern. Does this make sense? And so a good example of this, growing up with my parents and my family, we would, after dinner, before bedtime, we would always sit down and watch a movie and eat ice cream, right? It was bonding time. Bring that pattern into adulthood, and it got really bad at one point. Like there was a 7-day period, 6 of those days, I ate a whole pint of Ben & Jerry's, 6 nights out of 7. And it got really bad. Like my body started to hurt, my joints hurt, my kidneys were hurting. I'm like, oh man, I need to change this pattern. You know, I was 25 pounds overweight, just had our first kid, and I was like, I don't even have the energy to be fully engaged with my kid. I was like, this got to change. And so I created a new cue, right? So in that scenario, the movie was the cue. Movie comes on, where's my ice cream? Right? Eat the ice cream, feel that, satiated, and then that's the reward. But the consequence was waking up the next morning with lack of mental clarity, lack of energy, a lot of consequences eating too much ice cream. We can gain weight, right? All of that. And so I created a new cue, which was 8 p.m. So at 8 p.m., that was my cue to put on my exercise clothes and go to the football field 5 minutes away and go work out for 20 minutes. That's it. So I built that pattern over time to combat the other pattern, the other habit, lost the weight over time, and that's still one of my routines that I do. But I use this three-part model as a way to instill that new habit. So think about for you, what's a new, empowering, or positive habit that you know it's time to really build and strengthen?
And then after his keynote, people were blown away. They were excited, they were motivated, they were energetic.